Imagine a ruler whose infantry includes the wind itself, a king who holds court with humans on one side, supernatural jinn on the other, and above them, a swirling canopy of birds so dense it entirely blocks the sun. But during one massive assembly, a single sharp ray of sunlight breaches that shadow. The king looks up and spots a tiny gap in the ranks. A single subject, the hoopoe bird, known as the hudhud, is missing from its post. He doesn't overlook it. He demands a valid explanation immediately, promising severe discipline if the bird has abandoned its duty without cause. The ruler of the known world stops the entire court to audit a single bird. This audit defines the true boundary of his kingdom. In Sulaiman's court, accountability for a single wing carries as much weight as the command of an army. The hoopoe returns with an incredible defense. It brings intelligence of a distant power, Saba. It is a kingdom of staggering wealth, governed by a brilliant queen named Bilqis. Despite their advanced intellect and stunning architecture, the people of Saba worship the sun. They have mistaken the physical light of the world for the source of life itself. Sulaiman responds by sealing a letter that carries a divine command. Saba must abandon its pride and submit. The hoopie takes flight once more, carrying a message that forces a queen of worldly logic to confront a king of divine authority. Queen Bilqis attempts to gauge Sulaiman's true nature with a challenge. She sends a caravan of riches, but hides the real test inside, a flawless pearl. Her condition is that he must pierce a hole through it without using iron tools or the heat of a fire. When her envoys arrive, Sulaiman ignores the gold. He rejects the wealth entirely, stating that the knowledge and authority granted to him by the divine make their treasures appear trivial. To solve her puzzle, he doesn't summon a powerful jinn. He simply calls for a tiny woodworm. He commands the insect, and it quietly burrows its way straight through the pearl. Divine power dictates the laws of nature themselves. By using the smallest creature to solve the impossible puzzle, Sulaiman leaves the sharpest worldly intellects without an answer. As Queen Bilqis travels to meet him, Sulaiman turns to his court. He asks who among them can bring her heavily guarded throne across this impossible distance before she arrives. A jinn offers physical strength, but a man with divine knowledge teleports the throne in a blink. Upon arriving, Bilqis faces a final threshold. Walking his courtyard, she assumes a shimmering surface is a pool of water, lifting her dress to avoid getting wet. She finds herself standing on solid, flawless glass. Standing on the glass, Bilqis realizes she had been worshipping the reflection while ignoring the source. Seeing that her physical eyes could be so easily deceived, she yields her kingdom and submits to the Creator. Years later, the people of the kingdom expect Sulaiman's son to inherit the throne, assuming his father's divine wisdom is a family right. Sulaiman subjects his son to a public audit to test this assumption. He asks foundational questions. What is the taste of water? Where does the intellect reside? The son remains silent. The king provides the answers himself. The taste of water is life. The intellect sits entirely in the brain, but the heart's softness is dictated solely by whether it remembers its maker. This failure demonstrates that wisdom is a direct divine gift. It cannot be treated as a genetic right or inherited property. Following Sulaiman's death, a smear campaign begins. Devils bury books of magic beneath his throne, tricking future generations into believing his control over the world was achieved through dark sorcery. Centuries later, the Quran clears his name. The text explicitly records his vindication, separating his divine miracles from worldly magic. We look back at a man who commanded supernatural entities and spoke the languages of animals. Yet, when he saw the throne teleported across continents, his only response was, "This is the grace of my Lord." The final measure of his reign is found in this humility. True dominion ends in shukr, the absolute, unwavering gratitude of a man who recognizes that everything he holds is a gift.